The Bitcoin hash rate is plummeting as Bitcoin miners are capitulating. But this capitulation is leading to the miner stocks massively outperforming Bitcoin. I mean, over the past year, BTC is down over 46%, while Bitcoin miners such as HUT are up 431%. So, what's causing this? Well, obviously, it's the pivot to AI that many of these Bitcoin miners have been doing recently. And for once, someone on Reddit actually seemed to hit the nail on the head here. But what we can see, looking at these biggest Bitcoin miners, Riot, Mara, Hive, and HUT, almost all of them have been offloading thousands and thousands of Bitcoin, with HUT being the exception here. But Riot, Marathon, Hive, all going from thousands of Bitcoin to, a fraction of what they previously used to have. Now, if we just go over to TradingView here, what we can actually see is looking at the percentage drawdown in the Bitcoin miner difficulty, which is adjusted every 2 weeks, or approximately based on the amount of blocks that have been mined, of the hash rate changes in Bitcoin to keep those blocks coming about every 10 minutes. We can see that the current period of Bitcoin difficulty drawdown has lasted around 222 days. And it's the third largest, steepest decline in terms of percentage drawdown in this Bitcoin miner hash rate. But the previous two instances, a little caveat, I am ignoring this first one here in 2011 because Bitcoin ant miners didn't even exist until 2013. So this was literally just people under their desks with little GPUs mining Bitcoin as a hobby. The two most comparable instances of Bitcoin miner drawdowns lasted 225 days, so we'll pass that in a couple of days, and 236 days, which again will pass in a week or two. But this was due to the Bitcoin mining ban in China. This is genuinely just a pivot out of Bitcoin mining because there's now a genuine feasible alternative. I mean, if we look at the Bitcoin versus AI chart here, this is the AIQ index, which is the biggest AI ETF available. The chart of this versus Bitcoin, I mean, the correlation down here, which is the 1 year rolling correlation between these two, was practically 1-to-1. I mean, at times 0.7, 0.8, 0.9 over the correlation. These two moved in tandem for years, but recently we can see this has actually gone to an inverse correlation. We've seen AI skyrocketing as Bitcoin has been struggling. So maybe it makes sense that some of these Bitcoin miners are pivoting out of Bitcoin, offloading their BTC, and are now maybe putting their hardware to slightly more profitable use cases. Alongside that as well, if we just look at the production cost of Bitcoin, we can see right now, Bitcoin's right on this production cost. They're basically at break-even point on how much it actually costs to mine a Bitcoin. Now, the electrical cost to mine a Bitcoin is currently around $50,000. So again, with those hardware costs taken into consideration, it's not the true electrical cost to mine a Bitcoin, but still we can see historically this is, well, for one, been the bottoming range for Bitcoin, but also been when Bitcoin miner capitulation really peaks, because again, it's difficult to be a profitable, high revenue company when your product that you're actually kind of dependent on is kind of at cost for how much it costs you to actually mine these Bitcoin. And this has led, like we can see by this tweet from Plan B, to potentially one of the first years where the Bitcoin difficulty has had a sustained drop. Now, of course, the year isn't over yet, but it's hard to see this recovering quickly considering AI continues to outperform, considering a lot of these Bitcoin miner companies continue to shrink their treasuries. And alongside that, personally, I think it's one of the biggest long-term risks to Bitcoin. It's the declining block subsidy. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is clearly one of the most influential economic incentives and influences on the Bitcoin price action. The inflation rate decreasing by 50% every 4 years. Monetary genius. But you have to take into consideration, recently we saw one of the lowest days, well, the lowest day ever in terms of miner revenue from block rewards. Partly due to the declining hash rate and difficulty had some catching up to do. But this is going to continue trending towards zero. Now, the premise has always been, well, it's fine, Bitcoin's price is rising, so the miner revenue that they're actually losing out on in terms of BTC terms will be made up for in US dollar terms and miner revenue from fees. But the miner revenue from fees is less than a percentage of total revenue. If we just go back to this chart here, what we can actually see, if we look at the Puel multiple, which is the current BTC miner earnings compared to a 365-day average. We can see right here, might be a little hard to see, it's about 0.75 right now, meaning they're earning about 3/4 of what they have done historically over the previous year. Recently, this did drop pretty much down into the green zone, which, you know, historically has been a good accumulation opportunity, but we're talking big picture miner stuff here. So if we look at the Bitcoin miner earnings, now this is USD denominated total miner earnings. If we look at the fees from earnings, it goes from about $32 million daily to about $200,000 daily. It is a fraction of the total miner revenue. And if I just very quickly go back here, we can actually see as a recent analysis piece we did for site subscribers, we could see that averaged over the past 28 days, averaged over the past 28 days, daily miner revenue from transaction fees was less than the block subsidy for mining one block. And given there's 144 blocks per day, this isn't ideal to see if this is going to be what Bitcoin's security and miner incentive depends on going forward. But back to where we were. Considering this is roughly 30 million, and to actually multiply it by the Puel multiple to get up to the average, we'll just do 30 million times 1.3 recurring. Roughly 40 million is what Bitcoin miners kind of would like to be earning. If we just draw that on the chart here, we can see that that's been a fairly decent average over the past few years. It's been oscillating above and beneath this, of course, depending on where we are in the cycle. But this is kind of the point at which miners really feel like it's worth their time, effort, and resources to be mining Bitcoin. Now, considering there's now proposals to limit Bitcoin on-chain activity even further, so this fee revenue is likely going to continue to decline. And I understand, no matter what your thoughts are on the BIP 110, and just very quickly for some background, anyone that's not necessarily aware of what this is, it's trying to limit the non-financial transactions happening on Bitcoin, ordinals, Bitcoin runes, etc. But trying to further limit the amount of on-chain activity that we're seeing. I mean, Bitcoin initially was a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, but now no one really wants to be the Bitcoin pizza guy and spend however many Bitcoin on something that could be worth exponentially more in the future. And as a little caveat, this BIP 110 proposal, it doesn't really work. There's very obvious workarounds for this. But if we go back to TradingView, if we're relying entirely on the block subsidy to continue incentivizing miners going forward, because clearly the fee revenue doesn't seem to be trending in the right direction. If more limitations come in place, that's not going to help. I did slightly cheat. I asked some AI here. If they want to continue to earn around $40 million daily in revenue, but the block subsidy is halving every 4 years, given the fact we're only a couple years away from the next halving, I thought after 5 halvings time, if we look 5 halvings further into the future, what does the Bitcoin price need to be to continue providing $40 million in daily revenue for these miners, given the fact that fee earnings are negligible? This would have to be about $5.7 million per Bitcoin, which I know we're all bullish on Bitcoin here. That seems like a semi-reasonable target. But we also have to take into consideration that that's in today's dollars. If we want to look at global capital. So we can see right here, Bitcoin as a percentage of global capital is about 0.23%. It peaked at about 0.4849% at the all-time high. Well, it was actually before the all-time high. It was in July of 2025. If they want $40 million of actual purchasing power, because global liquidity is increasing, global capital is increasing at about 6.2% compounded annual growth rate. So if we look at how they would actually maintain their $40 million of purchasing power, given the fact that global capital right now is about $552 trillion, by that point in time, by 2050, 2048, in the 10th halving, Bitcoin's market cap would have to be about $210 trillion, which would result in about a $10 million Bitcoin. Now that is 10% of global capital. That's bigger than all of the real estate in the world. Right now, of course, that could change, that could grow. For example, and for reference, gold's about 5%. So in the next 22 years, are we going to double the market cap of gold? I mean, we'd all like to say yes, but this mining capitulation does feel a little bit different because this isn't a short-term regulatory shock. This isn't short-term price action-based capitulation. I mean, to some extent, that is going to be playing a part, but now there is a viable alternative for this hardware deployment from miners to be providing computational power to AI and big data centers. There's a big push and movement to further limit the revenue miners are going to earn from fees as this block subsidy is trending towards zero. We're a million miles away from Bitcoin genuinely being at a security risk, but the long-term incentive for miners is starting to become a little bit questionable. So just to summarize, backed by popular demand, Bitcoin miners are capitulating, which for many seems to have actually been a pretty smart decision looking at their stock prices. And this is mainly due to a big rotation into AI and data centers, etc., and large offloads from Bitcoin from their balance sheets, which again has resulted in a massive outperformance, even as the Bitcoin price, the Bitcoin hash rate, and difficulty, which usually we actually see these Bitcoin miner stocks as more of a leveraged proxy for the Bitcoin price action, almost like what we see treasury companies doing today. Even as we're in some of the deepest and longest drawdowns we've ever experienced, these miner stocks are skyrocketing because they're slowly pivoting away from Bitcoin. And as I said, this time it does feel a little bit different, this capitulation, because alongside this new profitable, viable alternative, the ongoing debate surrounding the Bitcoin improvement proposal 110 and trying to potentially fork Bitcoin to limit and restrict non-financial data is only going to reduce that miner revenue from fees even more. And considering in the not too distant future, that's essentially what Bitcoin is going to entirely depend on, I think that's a huge long-term risk. Is Bitcoin at risk now? No. Do we need to address the elephant in the room rather than focusing on workarounds for if we can fit monkey pictures on Bitcoin, which, by the way, we still can. We can just do workarounds for that. I don't know. It's as I said previously, I think it's the biggest problem Bitcoin really needs to solve. And I know we're in a bear market and it doesn't help piling on the pressure of bearish narratives, but this is probably the time where we need to actually try and focus and come up with solutions rather than just burying our heads and hoping for higher prices. But maybe you didn't enjoy this video. Hopefully you found it somewhat informative and educational. If that is the case, then please leave a like and let me know in the comments below and on social media. I do look forward to reading and replying to them. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.